The new year has begun, although for the time being, normal life hasn't. And I was going to do something on New Year's resolutions, and I think I still will, but maybe not the New Year bit. Let's just talk about resolutions, because New Year was about 3 weeks ago now. Now, a resolution is something you decide very firmly that you are going to do differently in your life. And you can do that at any time at all. You don't have to wait till New Year. It means you look at yourself and the way you behave and you say, I'm going to change something about myself. I'm not going to hope it will happen or wish it would happen, and I'm not blaming someone else that it isn't happening. I am going to make a change. Now, one of our school values is resilience, something we've heard about many times before, and we certainly need plenty of it now, and we will need it in the future, as so much around us is changing and has changed because of the present pandemic. Now, resilience means that instead of problems and difficulties shaping our thoughts and feelings and actions as they will, we push back. It means that even when things are tough, and for many of us, I know they are very, very tough, we determine to find a way through, often with the help of others. Now, I found an example of someone who found himself in a similar situation to us many years ago, who resolved to push on in difficult times. His name was Sir Isaac Newton, and he is one of the greatest scientists who's ever lived. He was at Cambridge University in 1665 when the bubonic plague struck England. You see, something similar to what we're living through now has happened before. Now, this was a deadly disease that you caught from fleas that lived on rats. And at any moment, one of those fleas could bite you and you would get the disease. Now, Newton's college was closed down and he had to escape back to his home in Norfolk. And one day in around 1666, he was sitting in his garden and he saw an apple fall from a tree. And he wondered what forces made that apple fall to the ground. Why didn't it fall sideways? Why didn't it fall upwards? And during his own personal lockdown, he began pondering the theory of gravity. The theory he developed became one of the greatest scientific breakthroughs of all time. Although the country was shut down, Newton did not shut down his mind and his imagination and his capacity to learn and his ambition and his desire to make the most of every opportunity. He pushed back when he could have just wasted his time and he could have just sat there worrying, hoping things would change. Instead, he changed scientific history. His resolution was that no circumstances were going to stop him from making the absolute best use of his time. Now, we may not be on the verge of making a world-shattering discovery, but we do have the ability to push back against difficult circumstances. They do not have to shut us down. They should not stop us from looking at ourselves and our circumstances and saying, how can I, right now, make the best use of my time? How can I push back? Oh, we say, but life is unfair. Things are difficult. Opportunities are passing me by. My world is getting so small. I only have my phone to keep me company. Everyone is annoying. I'm getting so irritated. Why not show some resilience? Resolve to get some different attitudes. Think about, in your own life, in your own family and beyond, how can we be different and bring about the change that is needed in this world? Now is the time to push back. School is happening, even though in a slightly different form. Work can be done. Extra work can be done. Books can be read. Ambitions can still be pursued. We can still make the most of our time. We can still help around the house. We don't have to be asked. We can plan for after the lockdown. We can dream about our future and we can plan for it. We can see what we need to do to reach our ambitions. We can act responsibly now. In the future, we can volunteer and be the change we want to see. We can look at the world and ask ourselves, what can I do that will make an impact? Now, I made another video. It was actually for earlier in the month, but it's still relevant, I think. So take a look. It's 2021, it's a new year. What kind of person will you be this year? Exactly the same as last year? Does anything need to change? People make New Year's resolutions about now, although really we should resolve or decide to change every time the need arises, for our sake and for others as well. We should always be asking, what would make a better version of me? So here are some ideas. How about getting better organised? Make a to-do list or write in and actually look at your diary. You could eat more healthily, healthy body, healthy mind and all that. Or be more positive, more of an encouragement to others. You could smile more. Why not cut down on social media? That could be a massive time waster. How about stop making excuses for things you can actually change about yourself? Or you can appreciate family and friends more. When was the last time you said thank you instead of taking someone for granted? And what about turning up on time? It stops wasting other people's time. What else? Why not watch the proper news rather than social media and just get yourself informed? You could volunteer for something, give back to the society you live in. Don't leave the jobs you could do for someone else. The rest of the world are not our servants. And that thing you say you want to do, well, do it. The Bible verse is called the Golden Rule. Do for other people what you would like them to do for you. And here's a prayer. Dear Lord, help me be the best possible version of myself. Amen. So there are some ideas, but you know yourself best of all. Look around, see how you like other people to behave, especially towards you, and then take your own advice. Okay, now here are some things to reflect on. What will you resolve to do differently? Now start with yourself. Think, who are the best kind of people? What are they like? What could you change about who you are to be more like the kind of people that you most admire? Next, where you live. What do you do around the house? What could you do that you don't do? What do you leave expecting other people to sort out for you? Why not do it yourself? Today, this week. Beyond that, your wider community. Now there are more people involved here. Think about your school, your village, your town. Are you aware of what your wider community needs? This is more difficult. Any thoughts? And then the wider world. What can you do in your life that will make a positive difference to the wider world? What problems, if we all changed our behaviours, stand more chance of being sorted out?